1.
Happy New Year!
I'm Lexi.
And I'm Katie.
And this is episode 4?
It is.
5?
5?
5 of
6?
the Go Read Sis pod anyway. Today's episode is going to be an end of the year / December wrap up. But before we get into our normal wrap up end of year chat, we are going to start this episode with scripture like we do here. And today we are reading from Proverbs 4:25 through 27, and it reads, "Let your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Turn your foot away from evil." So yeah, I thought that was fitting for the new year.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's great.
And we're gonna. Oh, do you have something?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
We're gonna jump right into our current events. The first one I wanted to chat about was the Percy Jackson series. I know we had talked about it being not out in a previous podcast, but it's out now for us, and I've seen 2 episodes.
Yes, I've seen the 3 that
You're
are
totally
out.
caught up. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I love it. Yeah. I love it so much. I was watching it with Justin, who has not read any of them, but loved the movies growing up. Which
Red
is,
flag.
it's so...
If you haven't read the books.
If you haven't read the books, you would have no idea how bad the movies were.
Right, and I think we talked about it on our last podcast, that the movie's good on its own.
Yes.
But telling an adaptation is what makes it bad.
Exactly. So he is like feeling like this is an entirely new story, and he has no idea what's going on.
That must be so fun.
Yeah, and I haven't read them since I was like 12.
Okay.
So even for me, I'm like re-experiencing the emotions and the things that I felt from reading it, and like remembering things that I had completely forgotten that had happened. But then I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, like that thing happened. Like Dionysus was my favorite book character. I loved him so much. And he's so funny. The guy that plays him is so funny in the show.
Yeah.
But like the movie, I don't even think he was in it, was he?
No.
If he was, it was very brief and like not.
There's so much that wasn't in the movies. And I just read the Percy Jackson series this year, like the whole series.
Yeah.
So it's all like pretty fresh in my mind, and I'm like, this was in the book, but not the movie, but it's in the series, so that's a win. And Ryan's like, can we just enjoy the show? And I'm like, this is me enjoying it.
Yeah.
He read half of the first one.
Oh, okay.
He did not finish it.
Why not? Do you know?
Yes, he felt it was repetitive, which I understand.
Especially when
he
you're
didn't think
like,
it was funny either. He did not find it funny. And I think if you don't find them funny, you probably have a hard time getting through them.
Especially, I think it's harder as an adult if it doesn't feel nostalgic for you. Like, I think I would enjoy it and think it's funny because it's nostalgic, because I loved it when I was like 12.
Yeah,
but
and I comparing to Harry Potter, which is just not comparable to.
No, it's not. They're very different.
No, it's like the jokes and humor in Percy Jackson are much more immature than Harry Potter. Even
and the characters
won first books in both series. Yeah. So he was like, oh, I'm just struggling. And I'm like, that's totally fair.
We're allowed to DNF here.
Mm-hmm. And he did.
We support DNFers.
But he likes the show.
Good.
Yeah. I'm like halfway through the most recent episode.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
I like laughed out loud. And the specifically the kid who plays Grover, I love.
Oh, me too.
He is just cracking me up.
I love the casting for this show so much.
Percy, perfect. Like if he had brown hair, absolutely who I would picture.
Oh, yeah.
Even like while reading.
Yeah. I pictured him a little bit more like scrawny when I was reading it, but I think that's because that's like the kid on the cover like has no meat on his bones like the original, but I don't mind. Like I'm not bothered by it in any way. It's just I definitely did picture him differently, but that always happens. Always. I still love the casting. I think he was a great pick for the role.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Our next like current event per se was just an announcement on Rebecca Yaros's Instagram. She is officially working on the 3rd, I don't even know how to say it.
Installment
of
the Empyrean.
That's what I was like. I was like, I don't actually know what it's called.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited actually.
Yeah.
I am appreciating that she's planning on taking her time writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was, in my opinion, Iron Flame felt like
rushed.
6 months was in between.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I hope she takes her time, and I'm excited to see what she writes.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like saw it, and I was like, I have to send this to Katie right now.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the last like current event. I don't know if you've seen these on TikTok, but like the trend of like 23 books I loved in 2023 and then 24 books I'm hopeful for. Have you've seen them?
Yeah.
Have you had any plans on like doing or participating?
I've thought about doing it. My thing is that I've only read 50 books in 2023.
Okay.
So I'm like, it would be really hard for me to actually pick 23 of those books that would be worthy, like noteworthy. So I don't know. And a lot of the books that I've read this year, like not all of those books are even fiction books. Like
Oh, true.
I read a lot of like Christian nonfiction.
Yeah, and you record those towards your goal.
I do, yeah. Because I'm like, I read it.
You
it
did.
Counts.
Oh, it for sure counts.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it would just be hard to like pick 23, but I could do 24 books for next year because my goal is 50 again.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go any more than that. I think that I will end up going over the goal. Like I really.
Yeah, I think this year both of us really like stepped up with our reading consistently.
I love the last 3 years for me. In 2020, I read like 17 books.
Okay.
And then, or like.
COVID reading.
Yeah. And that was the first time that I had really like read for fun since I was younger.
Okay.
And then since probably I was 14 or 15.
Gotcha.
And then in 2021, I read like 30 books. Okay. And then in it was closer to like 25 books. And then in 2022, I read like 30 books. And then 2023, now it's like 50. So I've kind of just been like slowly going more and more. But I feel like if I set my goal any higher than 50, I'm going to be sacrificing quality because I'm trying to meet my goal. Gotcha. And I really don't want to do that. I really want to read high quality books.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah, I would consider doing the 24 books, like, to read in 2024.
Yeah, I've considered both. It's honestly just been, like, a time issue for me, like, to sit down and make that kind of video. But I think I want to. I just have to hurry up because we only have a couple more days left of the new year.
I know.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy, but... Yeah, I go back and forth. Sometimes I want to, sometimes I'm like, nah, I'm going to skip out on this one.
You could always post it the first week of January.
Especially the
24 for 24.
Yeah, and like for the 23 part, like I definitely read enough books. I read 100 books. I just have not felt motivated to film TikToks, honestly.
That's understandable. I really haven't either.
I don't know why.
I've been on Bookstagram.
I enjoy TikTok more than Bookstagram.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I like Bookstagram more.
Maybe my engagement's better on TikTok, so
maybe
I feel more proud when I get to see that engagement.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ree's getting
I know
pets right now.
He is getting pets. Well, he came and put his head on my lap. I had to give love.
You can't deny.
No.
Okay. This isn't something we do every episode, but because it's the last episode of the month, we're going to talk about our December wrap-ups, and then we'll go into our January hopefuls.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to start with your December wrap-up?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to count a book that I started in November but finished in December.
That, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Whatever you finished.
Okay, so I'll start with the first book that I finished in December, and that was Magnolia Parks, the first book of the Magnolia Parks universe. I rated it 4 stars on Goodreads. My actual rating, I think, was like a 3.5 or a 3.75. Mostly because of the writing in it. I really, really enjoyed it, though. Like, it was high entertainment value for me, so that's why I rated it so high. So that was good. And then the next one I finished in December was called The Christmas Candle, and it's kind of like a novella of sorts by Max Lucado. I rated that 4 stars on Goodreads. Actual rating was like 4.5. It was just like a cute little Christmas story, very heartwarming. And then I read In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I rated that 3 stars. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like anything crazy. And then Through the Snow Globe, it's by Annie Raines. I would actually compare it to In a Holidays, but I liked it better. I rated that one 4 stars. I really liked the story better than In a Holidays. The problem felt more realistic in a way, and just I like connected better to the character, like the main character in Through the Snow Globe. So I gave that one a 4 star. And then I finished up the month with The Kingdom of Sweets, which I rated 5 stars. The writing was incredible, and I really just enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the fact that like it was the Nutcracker. I really liked the Nutcracker growing up, so I felt like nostalgic and connected to it. I'm looking at my review to see what else I said. Yeah, I really didn't have a lot to say about it that I didn't like. I really, really enjoyed it. And then it's not quite the end of December when we're recording this podcast. So my current read is Ruthless Vows, and I am expecting to finish that before 2024. So hopefully that'll be 6 for the month.
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. He's just chilling.
Yeah. Okay, so you Ruthless Vows is your current read, yeah?
Yeah, Ruthless Vows is my current read.
Love that.
I actually have 2 current reads.
Oh, what's your other one?
Yeah, I'm listening to Love Light Farms, which I know that I'm late to the game on that.
Okay, I saw that on my TikTok today actually, and I was like, okay.
I know, and it's Christmassy.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel overly Christmassy.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's currently when we're recording this, it's like the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is like,
it's still Christmassy.
It's still kind of Christmas. I feel like it's still kind of Christmas. So I am listening to that. I'm listening to the audiobook. It's a short, like the audiobook at 1 time speed is still only 10 hours.
Okay.
So, and I listen at 2 times speed. So it'll only.
I think it's on Kindle Unlimited too.
I think it is. It was available on Libby for me, the audiobook. I thought I was going to have to wait a long time for it, but I really didn't.
You'll have to let me know how you feel about it.
Yes.
I might read it if you like it.
Okay, I'm liking it so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, my December wrap up. The first book was A River Enchanted, which was by Rebecca Ross. I did start this in November, but I finished it in December. I gave it 4 stars, like solid 4 stars. It was hard for me to get through at first because I read Divine Rivals, and her writing in them is very different. Both good, but different. And I went into A River Enchanted expecting it to be written like Divine Rivals.
Okay. Yeah.
So not bad, just not the same. But I really enjoyed reading it. The next book I finished was One Dark Window. And I did listen to it on audio, and I listened to my audiobooks really for a long period of time. So I think I started that in October, and I finished it in December.
Wow.
Yeah, because I pretty much only listen to it when I'm in the car.
Oh,
or doing something, so it just takes me a long time.
Yeah.
But it's in my December wrap-up because it's where it, like, sits in Goodreads. And I gave that 4 stars. I believe I've talked about that on this pod before, so I'm not going to go too much detail into that.
Yeah.
But the next book was Magnolia Parks, the first one. I also gave that like a 3.5. Kind of the same exact reasoning you had. It was entertaining. The writing was just like, even just like the editing. The editing.
Yeah, there were like typos and like mistakes and stuff in the.
And that typically like won't waver my ratings, but like it was at the point where I had to like think about what was happening because there was errors. So that's why that knocked it down. But it probably would have been 4 stars if it was like well written and well edited. But that's that.
And it's not even, I just need to say quick, it's not even that her writing is bad necessarily. She just needs a better editor.
Yeah.
I really think that's...
Yeah, it's kind of hard to blame her because I'm not a writer. Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like most of writers aren't really paying attention to grammar like as at a forefront.
It depends on the
editing as a forefront.
It depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the what their strengths are.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I do just feel like she...
Like if you're paying an editor, you're kind of paying them to do what you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, exactly. You keep going. I'm going to let him out onto the patio.
Okay.
You can just keep going with your thing, though.
Awesome. Okay, so the next book I finished in December was Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I did give this book 4 stars. It is my first time reading through these, and I am absolutely loving them. The nostalgia I'm feeling from reading these books is just making them so, so enjoyable. And I really, truly cannot wait to keep reading this series. So that was like a very solid 4, maybe 4.5 stars.
Ooh, I love that.
I loved it. The next book I finished was This Dark Descent. This is by Kaylin Josephson. This was my Owl Crate book. I had really, really low expectations going into this book. And I was blown out of the water.
Wow. Okay.
Like a solid 4.75. The only reason I didn't get 5 stars was because the way she writes dialogue was very minimal, but the characters are very close in relation without a lot of dialogue.
Okay.
And I know some people love that. It's just not my favorite way for relationships to show. So that's why I didn't get 5 stars, but oh my gosh, I was so impressed with this book. I think everyone should read it.
Okay.
And it's so underrated. I've never seen it talked about on social media.
All right.
And it really needs to be.
I love that.
I'm sorry, I read a lot of books, I guess.
No, that's okay.
Next, I read Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. I gave this like a 3.75, kind of along the same thing. Nothing wrong with the plot. The relationships were like nice. I just didn't really feel really connected to the characters.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because they're really smart and I'm not. Like, I'm not dumb, but like I'm not book smart and they were book smart and they were talking about things that I was like, huh?
Okay.
And I also have no knowledge of chess.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think that's why I didn't get 4 stars. It was cute. It was clean. There was quite a bit of swearing. But other than that, it was good. I had a fun time. I read it in like 2 days. So,
Okay.
I mean, whatever.
I heard about that one that it's like, it's young adult, but it's not, it shouldn't be. Like,
No, I don't. Okay.
the themes
know.
of it are not really
Yes.
for young adults.
Yeah, because there's there's a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. And there's a lot of, like, mention of sex.
Yeah.
It's not, like, smutty in the sense that, like, there's descriptive sex scenes. But sex is talked about quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I would say it's on the older end of young adult.
Okay.
Like, high school.
Okay. All right.
It's appropriate for high schoolers.
Yeah.
The last book I literally just finished today was A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. And that is the second book in the River Enchanted duology. Or it's called Elements of Cadence. I gave that a 4.75 stars. Oh my gosh. It was so good. I finally was used to her writing for this series.
Okay.
And I felt really connected to the characters.
Okay.
And I know Divine Rivals is like this. I haven't read Ruthless Vows yet, so I don't know. But the way she writes romance is so clean and elegant.
Yeah.
I love it. Because there's, like, married couples in this series. And it's just so clean.
I love that. That's so cool.
So, yeah, those are the books I finished in December. And just because you mentioned your current read, I haven't read it. I haven't started yet. I'm going to start it. I was going to start it later. Ruthless Vows.
Amazing.
Yep, and then I'm still listening to Two Twisted Crowns because, like I said, I'll probably be listening to it like that in January. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, what's next?
what are like 2 January hopefuls? for you?
Oh,
Or
okay.
if you have more, that's totally fine.
Okay, one of my January hopefuls is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Davos? I don't know. It's kind of a current read.
Okay.
But also, I'm like 100 pages into it. I just do this. I'm just a mood read.
Mood reader.
I am. So much. I have it on everything. Like, I have the audiobook version, I have the ebook version, and I have the physical book. Don't ask me why.
So funny.
Mood everything. Yeah, so that's on my TBR or like kind
Why
of.
you do TBRs?
I don't. I don't.
Okay, valid.
Although it does help me like stay on track.
Okay,
And I'll just jump between the things that are on my TBR.
valid.
Yeah. And then I have like 2 more that I'm hoping for. One of them is the second installment of the A Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab, which I have to look up what it's called because I don't know. But it's the next book in that. I read the first one earlier this year, but I just haven't gotten to get to the next one because I've been reading a bunch of other things. It's called A Gathering of Shadows. And I really, really have been excited for it, and I've been missing that world. So I want to read that one. And then also I want to read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson next month.
Ooh, you'll have to let me know. I've been really, really curious and interested and intrigued in all the things to read Brandon Sanderson.
I really want to get into Brandon Sanderson. I don't think I've read anything by him, and I've heard Mistborn is a really good place to start.
Yeah, there were some people, like, I know personally who read them and was like, you need to read them.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that
Do you own it,
2024, I don't yet, which means I get to go book shopping.
Oh, yeah, we got some gift cards for Christmas.
I'm so excited. I will definitely be looking for it when we go book shopping.
Yay.
What about you?
That's so fun. I haven't really thought out too much of a TBR, but I definitely would love to finish the Red Queen series. I think I have King Cage and War Storm left. So those are two pretty big books. What the River Knows. I really want to read.
I really want to read a River Enchanted next month too, but I don't know.
Do it. I think you would fly through it.
I think I would too. I own it already, so.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to think of just one more. Probably Winter's Promise. I own it, and I need to just read it. The only thing is I've been, like, trying not to buy books, and I only have the first book in the series, so I'm going to have to, like, buy the rest.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That is all right. Okay.
All right. What's next?
Next we have resolutions, because it's the new year. So what is one bookish resolution and maybe one personal resolution?
Okay. A bookish resolution, or like, I don't ever do New Year's resolutions because I'm not a fan of resolutions. I prefer to do goals.
Okay.
So
what's a book goal and a personal goal?
Yeah. For a bookish goal of mine.
It can't be your Goodreads goal.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my next question.
Yeah. So a bookish goal for me is I really want to, honestly, be very particular about what I'm reading.
That's exactly what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah, and not be okay with putting a book down if I'm not enjoying it or if there's stuff about it that's like bothering me. So that's one, because I really want to read good books next year. I don't want to waste time on not good books.
Totally fair.
Yeah, and then a personal goal of mine is going to be to be more creative and allow no way. Yeah, I have a lot of creativity and a lot of creative endeavors that I really want to explore, and so I want to do the things that I feel like doing because they're creative.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, what are yours?
My bookish goal or resolution is to do write reviews for 50% of the books I read.
Wow.
I'm really bad at writing reviews. Not at writing them, at remembering to do them after I finish the book, and then I'll be like, oh, I meant to do a review for that. And by the time I think of it, I don't remember enough of the book to give a quality review, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with 50% for now. I don't review books I didn't like because of personal preference. So that's why I'm doing 50%, because I'm not going to change that.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to the author if it's just not something
your
I
taste or
anyway.
whatever. Yeah.
And then my personal one was also just get more creative. I've been feeling in my quiet time tugs towards being creative, so just kind of praying about what that looks like is my personal goal, whether that's a little Etsy shop or I don't really know.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's
so that
so
was
cool.
also my personal one.
Aww.
Yeah, that leads us right in Goodreads goal. I think we kind of talked about it. You're staying at 50.
I am staying at 50 with the anticipation that I will probably go over. So on Goodreads, it's 50. In my head, I'm it would be cool if I got a few more than that.
Yeah, totally valid.
Yeah.
Mine's 100.
Dang.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's attainable. I like to say it is. I read 100 books this year, but I did a crazy challenge January this year that I don't plan on doing again. I'm thinking I might, but definitely not in January. And my goal this year was 80.
Okay.
So I went way over, but because I set the goal before I did that challenge, so I don't know how I would get 100 books this year without doing a challenge.
Yeah.
Unless I read like short stories.
Which you kind of did as part of your challenge.
Yep, the shortest book I did was like 28 pages.
Yeah.
And I did count that because, whatever. So, I don't know. I go back and forth. I'm not going to change my goal. If I don't hit it, I'm not going to be devastated.
Yeah, that's fair.
Last part of this. What was your favorite read of 2023 and what was your least favorite read?
Okay, well, my favorite read of 2023 was definitely Divine Rivals. It's
Shocker!
the one that I cannot stop thinking about.
So valid.
That's definitely my favorite. My least favorite, I'm going to have to pull up my Goodreads.
I'm also checking Goodreads. While you're doing that, my favorite was Fourth Wing.
Nice.
Yep, I'm staying with it. I tried to, I was like thinking of other books I enjoyed as much, but there's not.
Okay.
And I think I have.
Does Goodreads tell you your lowest rating? Okay, my average rating. Wait, this is so cool. What was your average rating for 2023?
I don't know. Where do you see that?
If you go to Goodreads and you do my year in books.
I don't have that.
What? That's crazy.
No, maybe because you have the. Are you on the
No, I'm on the app.
desktop? Huh? No, I don't.
I will say I think my least favorite. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to mute this. Honestly, it's muted.
I
What's
have mine, so
happening?
let me. I
Go ahead.
can't find the author, but it's Threads That Bind.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I don't know how to say that. I'm not gonna try to butcher it. It was my Owl Crate book. I DNF'd it.
Okay.
It's probably a great story. It's just it was about like witches and like something. I don't really remember, but I wasn't having a good time.
Was there one that you, like, if we're not counting DNFs?
Oh, probably Throne of Glass.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say that. However,
It's one of my lowest rated books.
yeah, I was gonna say that, but I did not hate the first, like, I didn't hate necessarily, but, like, I actually kind of had a good time in the first Throne of Glass book. Like, there were...
As a series.
Oh, as a
Sorry,
series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad, yeah.
No, that's okay.
I know. I think if we're going by actual book, I think Empire? No. I don't know which one.
I don't know.
I didn't have a great time.
I'm not counting any of the Throne of Glass books as a least favorite because I think, like, for me, that series, I knew that I wasn't having a good time and I just kept going because I
Gotcha.
wanted to, like, finish it out. But if we're not talking about that, because I'm not gonna, like, I feel like that just doesn't count in my head. I'm like, that whole series, like, it just doesn't count. It felt like I was doing homework. Like, that's what I was doing it for.
Like reading it out of
Yeah. So my least favorite book of the year, what I'm actually gonna say, and I'm so not happy about what this has to be.
Scared.
It's The Brothers Hawthorne.
I haven't read that yet.
I, like, slogged through it. I did not like where the story went. I did not like how the characters were written in it. I loved the main characters in the Inheritance Games trilogy. I loved them so much. And I feel like Jennifer Lynn Barnes just did not do them justice in The Brothers Hawthorne. Okay. I did not get to see, like, hardly anything of the characters I wanted to see. And it was just a very disappointing read for me. So I think that would be my least favorite because of how much I was, like, really excited about it. And then it ended up being just, like, really disappointing.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It was very sad. I'm sure there were other bad books that I read.
I know. As I was scrolling through my Goodreads, I'm like, oh, I also gave that a 1 star. I also didn't like that.
Yeah.
But it is.
That was the most, like, impactful worst read, you know, where it was like, dang, I'm, like, really sad that this was not what I wanted it to be.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for our question of the episode.
Okay, I'm so excited.
These have all been, like, questions, but, like, our question of the episode, I am going to change it a little bit.
Okay.
The question was, what was one book that you read in 2023 that you would reread for the first time over again? But you can't say Divine Rivals and I can't say Fourth Wing.
Dang it.
Because otherwise we would say that.
Okay, wait, can you say the question again?
Yeah. So what's one book you read in 2023 that you wish you could read for the first time again without it being Divine Rivals? Like, you could say Fourth Wing if you wanted. I can't.
I don't think it would be Fourth Wing because I think I would pick it apart if I were reading it.
You picked it apart the first time. No, I'm just kidding. You actually did pretty good.
I did pretty good because I binge read it. Mm-hmm. I think for me, if we're not counting Divine
I'm looking,
Rivals, no, I'm also looking, so it's okay.
I should have prepared better.
No, it's okay. I think for me, it's The Ballad of Never After, specifically, because
Such a good book.
I had an amazing time reading that book. I read it in one day, like
Love
one
that.
afternoon.
Love it.
I loved it so much, and that was just like such a surreal experience. Like I had the
such
most
a magical book.
Yes, I have the most fun in the worlds that Stephanie Garber creates. Mm-hmm. I just love it.
Yeah, totally valid. I had a lot of really great reads this year.
I feel like it's easier for me because I had like half the amount of books that I read that I was supposed to.
I like. Can I say? I want to say my top 5 books I read this year, but no, not really.
No, pick one.
I'm trying. I think I'm gonna go with Silver in the Bone, by Alex Bracken, who writes lore.
Really?
Yeah, and my reasoning for that is I had such a fun time. It's Welsh folklore fantasy, which I've never read before. I had such a fun time, and I would just love to be in that world for the first time again and get to like feel the betrayal and the love and just like rehash all of that for the first time again.
Dang, I'm gonna have to add it to my TBR.
You really should, and I own it, so you can borrow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this was so much fun hanging out with you guys.
Absolutely. So much fun. I love like the chill episodes.
Me too.
Well, they're all chill. But
They're all, yes. But this is great.
yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us in our comfies.
Our comfy. Katie finally got one.
I finally got one for Christmas.
We can match.
Yeah. Be prepared for many more future episodes with just us in our comfies.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
They're so comfortable.
They really are.
I'm plugging Comfy. Like specifically the brand Comfy.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
No.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're so happy that you watched this episode. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Yeah. And go follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at goread.sis. Yes. Love you. Bye.